Hello students, in today's class we will discuss type number 3, which is a continuous beam with the fixed end. One end is a fixed but other end is hinged. As you can see in the diagram, very quickly we will go to analysis part. Here you can see that analyze the continuous beam loaded as shown in a figure with a moment distribution method. As we know, we are in the fourth unit where we are understanding the moment distribution method. We are applying it to the different types of beams, and once we finish with the beams we will move towards the frame analysis with the same method, which is moment distribution method, right? So in the today's class we will see a application part of a moment distribution method for the beam which has one end as a fixed and other one is a simple support, right? Now look at this look at this beam where one end is a fixed and other end is simple support. Okay, now you have three spans here. It means that the given beam is a continuous beam, but only change is that earlier the very first type of a problem in which the ends were fixed end. In the second type of a problem, the both ends were simply supported, and in the third category which we are dealing today is having one end fixed and other end is hinged or simple support, right? Now, how the application part changes or what changes we have to notice into the analysis part or pay attention to the analysis part, that specifically we will look into this problem. So very first step in analyzing such a problem is fixed end moment calculation. Fixed end moment calculation for first support, you can see the load is applied eccentrically. It is not acting exactly center of your span, and that is why if it is eccentrically applied, the fixed end moment for the span AB will be WAB square by L square for span AB, and for span BA it is WA square B divided by L square. Very standard formula with a sign convention. Now put the intensity and the span length values and solve it. You will get a fixed moment for the span AB at 17.77 positive it is, and negative 8.89 kilonewton per meter for span AB from B to A, right? Next span, you can see it has a uniformly distributed load of a 10 kilonewton intensity. For that, very easy, for span B, C and C, B, the formula calculation which required for calculating the fixed end moments remains same. Okay, only the sign convention has a little change. Therefore, I have wrote here that MFBC is equals to MFCB. Only the change is in a sign. It will be WL square by 12. The formula is WL square by 12, and final value it will be plus minus 13.33 kilonewton meter. Later you have a third span in which the load is applied eccentrically, or it is acting at exactly the center at spanning at a 1 meter from C end and 1 meter from D end or D support, right? For that the formula will be WL by 8, and that remains same for the both span C to D and from span D to C. So final answer is 7.5 kilonewton meter. Okay. Next is the distribution factor. Distribution factor required for the joint. Yes, distribution factor is required for what? To calculate the amount of moment you are distributing from joint to intermediate supports or to the span. Okay, you are distributing it. How much to distribute, that will be decided by the distribution factor. How to decide it? It is depends upon the K value. K value is nothing but a stiffness coefficient. How to take a stiffness coefficient? If your end is a fixed end, intermediate or far end is a fixed end, your value will be I by L. But if the far end or a intermediate end is a hinged support, then it will be 3I by 4L. Okay, so how it is, look at here. Let me check once a beam conditions. It is fixed at A and free or a hinge at D. So same beam I am drawing it again here. Wait a minute. So you have a fixed end at one support and you have a hinged at other end, and you have intermediate two supports which dividing our beam into three spans, right? Now let's calculate the K value. K values for A, B span. So K value is always calculated with respect to the joints and a span. So I have considered first joint as a A. From there the span is AB. If the span is AB, the K value is not considered, because see, from A you have a span A, B, or you can write another span, let's suppose on this hand. Okay, that span is not available. From joint A, you can write only two spans, A or something here, A dash or A, B. But from joint B, A, you have a balancing spans, and you consider the span B, A under a joint B. So therefore, there will not be any moment coefficient or a K coefficient or a stiffness coefficient for the joint A. Okay, so let's jump to the next joint, BA, joint B, and from joint B you have a BA and BC. BA you have value I by 3, BC you have a value I by 4. Now what is I by 3 and I by 4? See here, it is simple formula for calculating A, B. From joint B you have BA and BC. Okay, for BA, look at the far end, it is fixed end. Therefore formula for K value is I by L. But here the length of that span AB is 3 meter. Therefore your formula becomes I by 3, which is 0.33I. Then next is span B to C. Span B to C is again has a formula I by L, because it is an intermediate support. Okay, an intermediate support has a formula again I by L. But here the span of BC is a 4, therefore it becomes I by 4 and formula becomes 0.25I. Okay, then K is 0.58I, summation of this two summation of this two K values for span BA and BC, that giving me a distribution factor as 0.57 and 0.43. Okay, next is yours span C. Okay, at span C you can see this is the fixed end. You have a span A, B, C. Okay, so now you are writing for the span CB, this one, and span CD, right? For span CB you can see it is a intermediate support. For intermediate support or for the fixed support you always write a K value as I by L. Only if you look from C to D, this is a particular span where you have to pay attention, because far end is an exterior support which has after that there is no support. Our beam is ending with the simple support, then your value changes to 3I by 4L. Value changes to what? 3I by 4L. Now put the value of L into it and calculate the rest of the things in this table. Okay, lastly pay attention to this is also very important, D, where DC, for DC span, the last span, I have taken a stiffness value, K value as 1, and I continue that for that support. Distribution factor becomes 1. Now check here why I have done that. See here, this is my simple support, this is my fixed end A. Then you have a simple support at B. Then you have a simple support at C. And at end D also you have a simple support. As I said in the earlier problem, where both the ends were hinge end, there I have told you that at hinge end you have to take an additional equation or additional step into your MDM method. That additional step was what? Balancing your moment at hinge support or at roller support at at simple support of your beam. Balancing that moment means what? At simple support, roller support, hinge support, you know that there will not be, that support has to be free from the moment. If you put the moment on that support, it means that you are fixing it, because simple support allows the rotation, and if there is a rotation, there will not be development of movement. But if you are putting the movement, you are taking the movement as a 7.5, you can see here, due to fixed end moment calculation, you come up with certain value of a moment there. But if you keep continuing it in your table, then it is wrong, because simple support is always free from the movement. Then how to make it free? For that you have to balance it. How I am balancing it? By taking a stiffness factor A. How am I doing it? Look at here, pay attention to it. See, for fixed end movement, okay, we will start from the very first parameter, joint. I have wrote joint A, B, C, D. The exact replication of the beam here on my tabular format. I have 4 joints in my beam, therefore I have wrote 4 joints here. Along with that, I have a span AB, BA, BC, CB, CD, DC. Okay. Now you have a next parameter here as a distribution factor. Distribution factor, we have a table for it. At 2 of joint, at joint B and C, we come up with the distribution factor, that is 0.57 and 0.43 for a joint B. And at joint C, you have a 0.4 and 0.6, and similarly at the joint D, we have taken a distribution factor as a 1. The important thing I have made you notice here is that at joint D, we have taken it a 1 because we want to balance the moment taking place at this hinge joint. Okay? Yes. Next is a fixed end moments. Write down the fixed end moment which you have already calculated in the step number 1. Now everything up to here, see, everything up to here is already calculated in the either into the step number 1 or into the step number 2. Hereafter, whatever you do is a part of iterations. Okay. See here now. If I take a joint, this B, I have to do a summation of this values and summation of this value. At joint B, C and D. At D also you do a summation. Of course you don't have a balancing moment there, therefore the summation remains minus 70, minus 7.5. Here the summation becomes minus 5.83, and here the summation becomes positive 4.44. I request you all, keep this summation into the circular format and within that circle, and please do not forget to write the signs there. Write down those signs there, because those signs plays a vital role that help us to conduct the table in accurate format. We will not, there will be a less chances of making error. Okay. So once you added these values and put into the circle with the signs, next task is multiply this with the distribution factor and change the sign. So this is the step. And yes, this is where you have to pay attention. Once you multiply this minus 75 with 1, it remains, intensity remains same. But while writing it below, your sign changes, it becomes positive, right? And minus 7.5 and plus 7.5 giving me the final value here for next iteration as 0. 0 giving me, helping me to understand that the hinge support is free from the moment. It means that given hinge support is defined. Right. In the next step, do the summation of everything, 17.77 minus 1.26, and similarly for other steps. Minus 8.89 minus 2.53, add those and write with the signs. Okay. Once you have done that, you again add those values. Next iteration. Now this is the iteration number 2. So for whatever problems we have solved, those for the iteration 1, within even in one iteration we are able to we able to balance our movements at the joints. But here we required 2 iterations. Here after adding all the values, sorry, yes, after adding the values from each of the column we have, yes, these are the values which you are supposed to add. I'm making underlines below it and you are getting it. Yes, once you add those values, check the joint moments. Those are yet not balanced. Here you have minus 11.95, here you have 14.74. Here you it are approximately coming same, only the 1 kilonewton meter is different. So we again doing the second iteration. Iterate it until you will not get a balanced movement. Okay, same next iteration. What will be the steps? Steps remain same. Do the summation of these values and that gives 1.17 and 2.79. Okay, then multiply it with distribution factor. Now the distribution factor is here. Multiply these values with distribution factor. Okay, always put the distribution factor with the box so that you will always remember it. Again, it is making very clumsy representation. Yeah, I will make it true. Okay, yes, you have a summation here. Multiply it with the distribution factor. Right, put the distribution factor in the boxes that you will directly able to identify it. Okay, once you multiply it, change the sign, write it down below. Right, once you write it down below, next step is taking the carryover. Now please pay attention here. To the fixed end, you always take a carryover factor of a half, but you will not take a carryover to the simple support, hinge support or roller support. Why? Because we have already balancing it, we are trying it to nullify, we are keeping it free from the movement, and if you take a carryover to it, it will add a problem. It will again disturb your movement which you have already balanced here and made it free from the movement. Okay, so please pay attention to that you will not mistakenly take the carryover to the simple support, simple exterior support. Intermediate supports always take a carryover of a half magnitude. You can see here, intermediate support free end you can take a carryover, but for free end you cannot take a carryover, right? Because we already balanced it and we keeping it a 0 or free from the moment. Okay, now add all the values here. After adding the values, if you got a moments minus 12 plus 12 minus 13 13. At B joint the moments got balanced, at C joint also the moments got balanced at that joint or at that support. So you can stop your iteration now. Here iteration has to be stopped. Moments are these, the moments minus 12 kilonewton meter or the minus 13 kilonewton meter. These are the final moments at joints or at support B and C. Whereas at support D it is 0 because it is hinged support, and at wait a minute, at yes, at moment or a fixed end the moment is 70. At fixed end always there will be a moment. At intermediate support always there will be a moment. I will keep a camera here. Wait a minute. Yes. So at fixed support there always a moment. At intermediate supports there will be always a moment which balance each other, and at exterior hinge support the moment will be 0. So I hope you have understood the all iteration part and all the tips I have given in meanwhile. Please write it down those into your notebook. Try to solve more and more problems on the basis of same type, and if time permits I will take a more similar problems, but for now I will assure that similar type of problems I will give you into assignments. You try those problems. If you stuck with any of the step, please let me know. We will try to understand and discuss it more. Okay, thank you so much.